Imagine you're one of the first echinoforms, early Pleistocene, a Paleopithorhynchus to be precise. Several million years have led to your evolution, consisting of roughly 6 million separate generations that have been gradually altered in order to better survive your current environment. From the early Ichthyornis dispar to more recognized theropods such as the Suchomimus tenerensis, you are the culmination of several genetic marvels to create something near perfect. A 5-foot turkey with stilts for legs and a knife beak. Congratulations! You're a stork now, built for wading, spearing, and looking like you suffer from acute radiation sickness. Also, you inhabit bathrooms. Lots and lots of bathrooms. Also, you get impaled so frequently the Germans specifically designated a term towards you. That being Feistotch. Anyway, assuming you didn't evolve to be the ultimate wading bird and child gouger, what would happen if you had adapted to fill a completely separate niche, becoming a semi-terrestrial opportunist hunter who preyed on whatever was in stabbing distance? Fortunately for you, this kind of predator genuinely existed, the Leptoptylos robustus. This giant stork was extremely heavy, remaining exiled to the ground where it hunted small mammals, reptiles, birds, insects, and even tiny hobbit people. Yes, this stork almost specifically evolved to prey on tiny monkey men, which is absolutely horrifying. Also, individuals could reach roughly 6 to 7 feet tall, which is the most petrifying fact I have ever heard in my entire life. However, this isn't the path I'd like to go down when designing such a horrendous avian monstrosity. This new species of stork, which I will henceforth dub Leptoptylos maratragon, meaning thin-feathered baby eater in Greek, needs to be an apex predator, similar to South American Ferocerichids, which were the terror chickens. First of all, we need to know if filling this niche is physically possible for this genus, which we've deducted is certainly a thing that can happen. Second of all, we're looking to make this creature as large as physically possible while still maintaining the capability of flight. I don't know about you, but I want my giant murder turkeys to soar majestically through the air like a feathered javelin. We're going to assume this species traveled to a small island off the coast of South Africa, Madagascar, with the environment playing host to a vast array of small and large organisms, with the largest herbivores being Archaeoendrus fontoinanti, the gorilla lemur, and the dwarf hippopotamus, and the largest carnivores being Cryptoproctospelia and a subterranean population of crocodile known as the horned crocodile. Given the local organism populations and climate, it isn't unlikely that island gigantism would eventually take effect, leading to a massive spike in growth. Since the largest predatory species on the island is the giant fossa, and it primarily preys upon baboon lemurs, L. maratragon essentially has access to an untapped source of sustenance in the form of fresh fish, which the crocs can't consume because they live in the island's basement. Fortunately, Paleopithorhynchus was already an opportunistic predator, so the increase in size would only permit it to prey on larger and larger creatures. The dramatic size increase would be slowly fed by the island's fish population, which essentially belongs solely to the baby eater. As a result, there would be no evolutionary change that would result in a loss of fitness, meaning the stork could essentially continue to grow until it could begin preying on baby hippos and giant fossa. To support the hypothesis that L. maratragon would only be preying on these organisms and ones like them, the existing species Leptoptylos robustus evolved to prey on Homo florensis, the island lawn gnomes. These primates, however, were significantly more lightweight and miniature than gorilla lemurs, and didn't provide much of a fight other than screaming and throwing poop. One swift stab to the skull would incapacitate the little gremlins, but the skull of a gorilla lemur is thick and robust, and their muscles theoretically consisted almost entirely of fast-twitch muscle fibers, which support quick, powerful movements such as sprinting or weightlifting. As a result, these ape-like lemurs could possibly shatter the bones of a stork easily, as hollow bones are vulnerable to blunt force trauma. Therefore, the baby eaters could not prey on gorilla lemurs, and honestly, a hippo is self-explanatory. These blubbery behemoths could rip a stork to pieces if they so please, so they're definitely off the menu. In order to efficiently hunt the powerful, wolf-sized fossa and other various nimble prey, the baby eater stork's neck muscles would possibly change over time, adapting to being faster, stronger, and more precise. The stork's beak would most likely lean towards a more hooked formation in order to tear flesh from larger prey, as seen in other predatory birds. Too much curvature, however, would result in the stork losing utility of its spear-like beak, which is practically its only natural weapon. In order to preserve the ability of flight, the breast muscles of the stork would have to be fast-twitch as well, allowing for explosive bursts of flight for short periods of time. This is because lactic acids build up in muscles, basically making them shut down. Overall, the baby-eating stork seems to be a glass cannon of sorts, like most birds. The use of fast-twitch muscle fibers combined with their deadly beaks make them capable of precise, quick, and powerful stabs, either wounding prey grievously enough to allow them to bleed out or simply impaling them and ripping into them on the spot. Also, apparently normal storks can sprint at speeds of 20 to 27 miles per hour, which is just the most awful image I've ever envisioned. And now, to present to you all the method in which it may have hunted, I kind of wrote this thing. Yeah, here you go. Imagine, again, you're one of the first humans to ever step foot on Madagascar, and you're more than just a little nervous. You've seen Africa, you've seen Middle Europe, you've witnessed all the horrors they've had to offer. You've fought snakes, wolves, bears, lions, hyenas, all kinds of horrendous abominations you've seen nowhere else. As you trek through the dense African rainforest, you stare in wonder and awe at all the marvelous creatures Madagascar has to offer. Cat-faced creatures of all shapes and sizes chitter at you as you walk past, staring with their large, orange eyes. You encounter a population of small hippopotami, which don't look nearly as frightening as their massive cousins. Soon, you and your comrades settle down for the night, resting in what you believe to be a land of wonders. As you sit around the fire, telling jokes and commenting on the unexpected hospitality of the surrounding lands, you hear it. A loud, echoing, clattering noise pierces the forest, like a jackhammer slamming into the earth. Your party grows silent for a moment before continuing to banter, just visibly shaken. As the night grows darker, the fire grows more dim, and you are chosen to collect firewood. Your mind immediately returns to the mysterious clattering from hours ago, and as you step into the Madagascar wilds, you're filled with unease. You haven't seen the entirety of this new land, and everywhere else you've visited has had numerous terrifying beasts lurk in the shadows. These thoughts race through your mind as you find a small, scarcely wooded field. As you reach down to collect a stray, dry log, a twig snaps behind you. You drop the log, twisting your body to face the source. Staring at you from the tree line is a thin, hauntingly tall bird. Its dark, empty eyes are focused on you, determining if you are prey. A long, pointed beak emerges from the shadows, twitching slightly at erratic intervals. In just a split second, it seems to decide that you'd make an easy target, sprinting at you from the tree line with the speed of a galloping horse. Its wings propel it along the ground, beating up dust and sending it into your eyes, temporarily blinding you. As you finally manage to wipe the dust from your eyes, you find the bird hurtling towards you only several feet away. As you raise your arms to defend yourself, the bird leaps atop you, sending you falling to the ground as its talons dig into your sides and stomach. A raspy squawk leaves its beak as it watches you struggle, raising its beak for the killing blow. As your eyes widen in terror, an echoing scream leaves your lips before being suddenly cut short as the hammering beak slams into you. Now, that was clearly just a dramatic retelling. In reality, the baby-eating stork would have no idea how to counter a human and would probably awkwardly flail at it before flying away in terror. But it does show just how terrifying this new stork could be if given the chance. Of course, this is all just speculation. In reality, no one knows just how dangerous a predatory stork could be, as the paleobiology of Leptoptilus robustus is just speculation for now. However, considering how birds have grown to colossal proportions and preyed on megafauna before, I wouldn't find it too hard to believe that a massive stork could have roamed the African savanna in a timeline not so different from our own. In fact, the timeline does have a bit of validity to it, as the L. robustus's closest living relative, the marabouche stork, is known for gouging out the eyes of zoogoers and poachers alike. Similarly, the shoebill, while more closely related to pelicans than storks, is a terrifying carnivore that preys on fish, birds, snakes, lizards, their own children, and even crocodiles. Overall, wading birds are literally just dinosaurs with knife faces, and I must admit that I do not trust them.